Hey everyone, it's John here from RPO Bay Hockey, back with another video, and this video is going to be about the draft lottery, and I just finished my live stream with Gary Bettman's live press conference, breaking down the 2014 format, the draft lottery format, just overall the return to play based on the information they have right now and what they can provide for us. So for the draft lottery for this video, I want to go over it. There's a lot to go over because I think there is some controversy. I mean, a lot of people wanted just the bottom 7 teams that are not competing in the play-in rounds, not competing in the playoffs at all, to just have that opportunity for that first overall pick and that second overall pick and that third overall pick. But there's going to be 2 different phases where, you know what, at the end of the day, a team that gets knocked out in that play-in round could still get that opportunity. And I do think people need to chill out because, again, there's still a very small percentage. So I'm going to go over that right now. Again, if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. Every subscriber counts. As I make this video, we are literally 40 subscribers away from 11K. So if you are watching and you're not subscribed, help this channel get to that milestone, and please smash that like button. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. So let's go over this. All right. So these would be the odds for the initial lottery. And I want to obviously get to this, but I do want to go to the phases. So take a look at this. We're going to get back to these percentages. So this would be phase 1, which would be taking place on June 26th, before the play-in rounds, before everything coming back. So the first draw determines the first overall pick, the second draw determines the second overall pick, and the third draw determines the third overall pick. So there's 3 different draws. If a draw is won by a non-resuming club, it receives that pick. So there would be no phase 2. The phase 1 would happen, and it would be just like that. The results would stay the same if all 3 teams that get those top 3 overall picks are of those 7 teams not in the play-in rounds. So obviously all the California teams, LA, San Jose, Anaheim, and then New Jersey, Ottawa, Detroit, and the other team would be the Buffalo Sabres. I was about to forget the Buffalo Sabres. We'll talk about the Buffalo Sabres in a different video, and Jason Botterill, but those will be the 7 teams. If those teams win those top 3 overall picks and none of the other teams get in on it, then phase 1 would stand. But if one of those teams competing in the again, they would go by, if you go back to this, they would go by a situation where it's Team A through Team H. Obviously, that would be such a controversy if they went by teams. Teams would then want to lose. Or, again, it depends. That's like up for discussion. But they would go by Team A to Team H to fill out those spots. Anyways, so phase 1, that's kind of the situation there. Phase 2, between qualifying round and first round. So that's after the play-in rounds, before the first round starts. Any phase 1 draw not won by a non-resuming club will be conducted among clubs eliminated in the qualifying round. So like I said, it's among the 8 teams that get eliminated in the play-in rounds. So once the top 3 picks are determined, remaining clubs will be slotted in reverse order of 2019-2020 points percentage. So there's a little bit of explaining to do here. So if you look at the percentages here, this would be the initial one for phase 1. So if you do the math, those top 7 teams, the percentages, and this is what the percentage would have been, that adds up to 75.5%. Obviously, that makes it a lot more likely that phase 1 will stand. It makes it a lot more likely. 75.5%. I think we can all agree that's a very high percentage. From 8 till 15, there's only a 24.5%. So again, if you do the math, you divide 24.5, and Gary Bettman said this, if you divide 24.5 divided by the 8 teams, because if it does go into phase 2, they would each get just over a 3% chance of getting one of those, or getting, I guess, the first overall pick, and then it goes down to second and third, and the different percent. But what I'm trying to say is, these are the different percentages, but if it goes to phase 2, every team, based on what Gary Bettman said, in my understanding, they would all get 3%. So in terms of a 100% breakdown, each team would get a 12.5% of that 24.5%, if that makes sense. I'll say it again. Of that 24.5% of them getting that first overall pick, it would be divided equally. So 12.5% of that 24.5%. So people need to remember, that's a very unlikely chance of one of those teams getting the first overall pick. Is it possible? Yep. There's a 24.5% chance. But regardless, it's still very unlikely. And if you're looking at Ottawa, for example, they have the highest percentage of it happening. So Ottawa, 13.5% on their own pick, and then 11.5% on the Sharks pick. So we'll see. They've got a high percentage of getting at least, I would say, one of those top 3 picks, potentially 2 of those top 3 picks, or even the first overall pick. So let me know what you think. Again, if you don't understand what I'm saying, I can maybe explain it in different wording in the comments. So just comment what you think, or what you're confused about, or if you disagree with something. Again, a lot of people think that it should just be the bottom 7 teams. You know what? I see the merit in that, because I do think, and this is my perspective, why are teams given the opportunity to compete potentially for the playoffs, but if they lose, they get that opportunity to get a superstar, potentially? Again, very unlikely, but there's that potential. And then I guess other people can argue, well, these play-in rounds are just essentially the last few games of the season, which I also see that perspective. I mean, I think that's valid. These play-in rounds are what would have been the last 10 games. But for a team like, I mean, I'll throw it out there, for a team like Montreal, again, that's why Habs fans are kind of getting a lot of beef right now on Twitter and social media, is like Habs fans have their own opinion. Habs fans weren't going to make the playoffs. I'm going to put it right out there. The Habs were not going to make the playoffs. They would have had to clean up the rest of their games and would have had to hope a couple other teams lose. Montreal Canadiens were not making the playoffs. And now they're getting an opportunity to potentially do something where Carey Price could maybe steal a series or 2 and they could go on a potential run. Again, that I think that's unlikely, but you never know. And if they lose, they get a pretty, again, I wouldn't say this crazy percentage, but they still get a pretty decent percentage at getting up there in the lottery. So we'll see. Again, I do think it's a tough situation for the NHL. So anyone just completely ripping into, there's going to be controversy no matter what. And that's why it's really difficult with fans and with society. It's like, I think it's very competitive in a 2014 form. I mean, again, we've never seen it before, but you would have to imagine if these players are coming back and they're coming back healthy, you've got to imagine a 2014 format that's going to be crazy competitive. And if they win, they deserved it. That's a crazy format to go through. So, I mean, there's going to be controversy everywhere. There's going to be a question mark around a lot. Regardless, I did want to just kind of share my thoughts and do the breakdown. I mean, that's off of my understanding. I hope I didn't get anything incorrect. But yeah, a lot is being discussed still. Hopefully we get that draft lottery June 26th like expected. And we'll see if it's all 3 of the non-resuming clubs and it would stand. Ottawa definitely has a pretty good chance. Detroit, I'm wearing the Devils jersey. We'll see if Detroit can maybe get another top pick. So thank you for watching. Please do subscribe if you are new. Smash that like button. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. This was John from Hockey. I'll see you on the next video. More videos to come and live streams. Road to 11K. Peace out.